Hello, fans, and welcome into Ethridge, Tennessee, here in the historic Amish country of Tennessee. We have stepped back in time literally here as we do every race with the Southeast Gassers and Mitch Stott. I know, judging by the traffic around here, we've seen a lot of orange triangles on the back of buggies.
Well, David, there's no question about it, buddy, and the Amish definitely depend on horsepower, literally, to get them around and to do their chores throughout the day. Very much the same as the Southeast Gassers Association. Horsepower is king. Just so happens we may have a few more than they do. But yes, this is Amish country, dates way back. I think they settled here some 50, 60 years or more so ago in this area. Very heavy population of them, and that does give it a real distinctive historic feel when we bring this resurrection of gasser racing back in this area. It's just an area that's already gone back in time.
And with over 50 entries here today, it proves to be a good one. I've been through the pits already. All your point leaders are here. I mean, things are going to be hot and heavy here today in Ethridge, Tennessee.
Yes, I believe so. You know, this is the first stop for us. It's the fourth race of this season. The first time we've been to this facility. So we don't know what to expect. But the good thing is the racers don't know what to expect either. So that always provides for excitement. And I think this will do it. And there should be some good competition. It's certainly in light of the fact that currently standing, the fourth race in, A and C gas categories, the top 5 are only separated by 4 rounds of competition. So the season is already tight. So come to a new racetrack, these guys don't want to lose ground at all. So it's going to be a good one.
I already talked to the frequent flyer and Alan Galden. I mean, they've made the trip here from Tampa, Florida, some 14 hours to be here today. So that tells you how important the Southeast Gassers racing is to a lot of people.
Definitely. You know, the swamp monsters, as I've deemed them, they come up out of the swamps of Florida. They come here to cause trouble, and they always do. They're always upsetting things. But I do think that they may be dedicated to the rest of the races of the season. That's going to be quite a turn of events, because I think Allen is, if I'm not mistaken, maybe third in A-gas points right now. So, yeah, they come up here to go ahead and close that deal, I do believe.
Well, folks, we're getting ready for some great racing action. We're ready to bring it to you. C-Gas first round. There you see Kevin Shaw in the odd rod versus George Miller coming to us out of Indiana in that Falcon Crazy. One-way technologies on board there. Sam Jones Racing Engines. Kevin Shaw getting a drop right there on the starting line, but that Falcon running really well down the left side right there, and George Miller takes the win right there, and he will put Kevin Shaw on the trailer and advance to round number 2 here at Ethridge, Tennessee. There's Billy Edwards going to take on Josh Pruitt. You don't see a matchup like this usually until the later rounds of the racing, but Billy Edwards had some trouble in qualifying, unable to get that Thunder Road car down the track, and just gets tattooed right there by the young blood, Josh Pruitt on the line. Is that going to be enough? Billy Edwards trying to come around, but Josh Pruitt takes the win here in first round. And look at his crew back there. Billy Eisen, Neil Pruitt, Debbie Eisen, all excited for that young blood. Definitely knocking off a big runner right there. Here's the battle of the thoroughbreds in round number 1. The dark horse of Doug Capps taking on the crazy horse of Larry Noel, that 56 Chevy, our defending champ. And the crazy horse with that Wayne Sless horsepower underneath the hood takes the win right here in the Battle of Thoroughbreds as he will move on to round number 2. Flower Power Cynthia Phillips going to take on Rick Cathcart. These two know each other well. Rick Cathcart, turns on the red light right there, and Cynthia Phillips automatically will move on to round number 2. Cathcart knew he had to take a shot at the tree, and he just got caught just a little early right there. There's that big 58 Delray of Todd Oden, the Double X, taking on Dan Hogan in that Falcon. The Falcon made a good run earlier this year, got all the way to the semifinals at our Shady Side event. But, man, look at that 58 Delray wide load you see on the back there. The Double X taking the win to Todd Oden. And just watch that car. Every time it sits down in the rear end, he's grabbing another gear.
Today, you got to pay back a debt to one of your biggest nemesis, Rick Cathcart. That had to feel good.
Yes, I have never beat him qualifying, racing, never. I'm pretty sure this is the first ever. So, yes, I owed him.
Well, that's the way we see it from our point of view, is that you had always fell victim to Rick Cathcart regardless of what the situation was. So I knew today when you finally got to turn on that wind light with Rick Cathcart in the other lane that had to be sweet revenge.
Oh, yes. I was a happy camper, probably happier than if I had made 2 or 3 rounds. That made my day right there.
Catching up with Sean McLemore. He's one of the newcomers with us in 2019. Also related to Earl McLemore, the Little Varmint, one of the more wild cars on the circuit that's been with us a year or two. But Sean, you coming in, you're joining up with us this year, and I got to tell you, you're finding new ways to break a gasser. What went on here?
Well, we had a little shake, then she went toward the wall. We got her out of it. Now you can see what the fakes are.
All jokes aside, I mean, What went through your mind here? Because this thing could not have been driving as you would normally expect it.
It was about to be the wall was going through my mind, but we saved it, luckily, and we'll live for another day.
So, I mean, you guys do, I think, most of this work yourselves. It's no big thing for you to fix. You know how to put it back together.
Now, we can get it. We'll get it pretty quick. Hopefully, we can get that going. Had a little transmission problems, but I think we'll be all right.
Broken puzzle, but no problem for the McLemore crowd.
We'll get it.
Well, brother, we're glad to have you. We know you'll be back. And, hey, if nothing else, you provided excitement. And as we was talking earlier, giving us an idea for a new gasser category called the rear steer.
That's right. That's right. Hey, they say I earned my McLemore strap, so we earned it well.
Moving right on to B-Gas, there you see that beautiful 65 Barracuda Ray Fossil, the bustin' loose. He's going to be in the left lane, and he's going to be taking on one of my personal favorites. I love the shape of this car, Papa's Wild Willis Michael Walters out of Rayford, North Carolina. And this is a good race, folks. Looks like Ray Fossil might have took this one. He does. That bustin' loose car is bustin' loose down the racetrack, and he takes the victory. And a very close matchup right there. Gary Smith out of Leesville, South Carolina, and Jerry Birch in the Freebird out of Roebuck. Man, don't you know Gary Smith wish he drew somebody a little bit different. But look at that wheel stand by that Henry J. Man, what a great-looking leave. Got him a little bit out of shape right there as you see him go toward the wall just a little bit. There's a better shot of it. Gary Smith unable to catch up to that Freebird after that launch. Tim Bailey and Rod Bergner. Rod Bergner in that well-documented Undertaker former ice drag racing car, and he gets up on the rear wheels, shoots him over toward the left, and that is just enough for Tim Bailey to take that 57 Corvette and punch it right through the air. Man, what a wheel stand. Rod Bergner out of Texas. He is doing a great job keeping that car off the wall. Holly Springs, South Carolina runner Daniel Haynes in that Patriot. There's his beautiful wife in that patriotic attire bringing him backwards, and he gets TJ York out of Ohio. Good matchup right here. Two beautiful race cars. Good looking race right here. Looks like TJ York might be getting out on front a little bit, and TJ York does take the win in that left lane. That big 55 moving down the racetrack well, and there you see the margin of victory. Ron Drake right there in the left lane, and the Smoking Sam of Mike Blackwell in the right. Drake, a little bit of an advantage on the starting line, but man, look at that power horsepower of Mike Blackwell's come on at the end, and Smoking Sam puts Ron Drake on the trailer in the first round of B-Gas competition. The obsolete 2 of James Beard out of Ripley, Tennessee, going to take on Ernie Smith in Paula's Nightmare out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Wings, etc. right there on the side of that Ford horsepower Chevy 2. And he's got a big order coming up with James Beard. That car's running well. And James Beard takes a round win right here. I know his dad's celebrating his 73rd birthday this weekend. Awfully glad to see that. Jeff Madden in the misleading out of Charleston, South Carolina. Going to take on the Atomic Hillbilly, Todd Napier. And there you see one of those big, long, smoky burnouts. And Jeff Madden sleep at the wheel right here, and Todd Napier takes the win. There you see a big whole shot advantage right there, and that is too much for Jeff Madden to make up.
You don't find AMSOIL in your local parts store. AMSOIL works directly with its own distributing dealership corporations or businesses throughout the country. Just so happens Christina Bish Distributing, located in Gaffney, South Carolina, but she can sell to you anywhere in the world. But the more important factor for us at the Southeast Gassers Association is Christina Bish has found the Southeast Gassers Association to be a reputable as well as a profitable venue to come out and distribute and showcase the wares of AMSOIL. Christina, how are things going for you these days with the Southeast Gassers Association as well as AMSOIL distributorship?
With the business, everything is always going great. I mean, what a sale is a sale, whether it's $1 or $100. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. I make that connection with a customer, and that's what matters to me, is making that connection. With the Southeast Gassers, it's family. So whether I sell anything to a gasser, it doesn't matter because they're family to me. So I'm here for the family. So this is my business, running my business, but I'm also having fun with the gassers as we're here.
So this is what they call mixing business with pleasure.
Yes, which I was told you're never supposed to do, but, you know, in this case, I think it's okay.
Time for our fastest class in competition. That is A gas. There you see Troy Leitner in the Shakin' Bacon. 1951 Henry J right there in the right lane. Taking on Ben Christopher in the Happy Days 48 Anglia. And Ben Christopher, color him gone as he takes the win right here in that Anglia. Man, that's good to see him keeping that car settled down off the line and taking the win. Gary McLemore going to take on Dean Jonas. Jonas out of Mount Holly, North Carolina. He's going to take on the Atom Smasher here of McLemore's, and McLemore cannot hold. Looks like the clutch just pulled him through, and he leaves before the tree activates. So Dean Jonas will get the win, and Dean going to go ahead and take a pass down the racetrack and shake his car down another time. The Silver Streak versus the Swamp Monster, the Frequent Flyer. You don't see this one in first round, folks. This one's usually a final round matchup. Alan Gaulden in the right lane and Kenneth Phillips in the left. And man, look at the lead by both cars. And Kenneth Phillips runs into a little bit of problems there again as he experienced in qualifying. And that is going to be enough for Alan Gaulden in the Frequent Flyer to take the win here in first round. Spinny 2, Steve Davis going to be in the left lane. And Sam Gable, the fireman out of Atlanta, Georgia, in that Moonshot car, going to be in the right lane. There you see Village Garage on the side, and Sam Gable giving all he can give, but that is not enough to beat Steve Davis on this day. That Spinny 2 car running down the track really straight, and man, that's making some good horsepower there today, and there you see the margin of victory. The 31 Ford of Gabriel Burrow going to take on Gary Klein in that 41 Willis. Gary Klein with that Fulton horsepower under the hood, the Tasmanian Devil. And Gabriel Burrow right here in that 31 with Jimmy Huff horsepower under the hood. This is a good race, folks. Who's it going to be? Gary Klein pulls it out at the end. I didn't know who that one was going to be either, folks. Gary Klein coming on at the end. What a great drag race right there. And look at that margin of victory. I'm telling you, that's what it's all about right here in the Southeast Gassers. Battle of the Wagons right here in first round. There's Barry Lynn in the little red wagon and Todd Oden in the double down. Todd Oden gets a little out of shape. Barry Lynn streaking down the racetrack, and he puts the points leader on the trailer right there. And that could be a big blow as today unfolds.
Rocky Platt, you are one of the originator of the AFX class out here with the Southeast Gassers Association. Obviously, Robert is a newcomer this year. He took it out of the A-Gas category and built his car for A-Gas competition to give you some competition. And what went on here? I mean, this looks like a cut tire. This is just one of the more dangers of drag racing.
Just part of it. I tell you, I'm so glad to see Robert out here. He's been gone for a few months. I'm so glad to see him come back. And he made a single pass last night. Couple made one today. It was pretty good, but we wanted to run each other. And
that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
We were out there playing, dry hopping, just playing. And it's he just had him cut a tire. But what's so neat about it is I slid sideways up in the grass, get down here. It scared me to death. I saw him against the wall. I ran down here and he gets out of the car, and first thing he says to me is, "Did I get you?" I said, "No, sir, I got you on top end." He said, "Can you give it to me?" "Yes, sir."
Robert, brother, you make the move to AFX out of A-Gas. I would have thought that maybe A-Gas was the more risky of the categories, but here you have stepped into AFX, the altered wheelbase. Buddy, you're making this class come true to its roots.
You got to do something to draw a crowd. You know, Just blew a tire.
Basically that's just what happened? Just cut a tire, blew a tire, whatever happened here, and now then we know the source. Tell me what was going on inside the car. I mean, would the car respond to you? What was your thoughts? What's going on?
Well, it started to come around and it just wouldn't respond. Then I saw him go by and I didn't care then. You know, he come around me.
So he was clear. So now anything else you hit?
Me. He beat me.
Well, that really makes it suck, don't it?
It sucks, yeah.
Because from my last vantage point, you was ahead of him.
I was till the tire went down.
Can y'all rerun it?
Yeah.
Seagas round number 2. There's the crazy horse of Larry Noel taking on Josh Pruitt, who just knocked out a big contender here in Seagas in that Thunder Road of Billy Edwards. There you see the burnouts getting completed, and Sandy Noel going to move her husband back, and Debbie Ison's going to be moving her nephew back into the beams right here. The Youngblood versus the Crazy Horse right here, and the Youngblood takes off just a little too soon with that left foot and turns on the red light, and there you see it catching him, and Larry Noel will be the benefactor of that. Hate to see that, but the Youngblood, he was trying to be on his game and caught him just a little quick. Todd Oden in the Double X, and George Miller in the Falcon Crazy making the second round here. That Falcon Crazy come back and won it in convincing style in first round. And Todd Oden getting those hides hot and not going to go until Mr. Lester tells him it is time to go. The Miller boys right there on the side. There you see George Miller in there, and Todd Oden being backed in by his beautiful wife Gina. And we are ready for action right here in the second round. Who's it going to be? A little cat and mouse on the line. And looks like that's an even start right there. That Double X looks like it's turning it on. Can the Falcon catch him? No. The world champ of 2017 takes the win right here in second round of Seagas competition in that big Double X 58 Delray. Flower Power, Cynthia Phillips going to be taking on Leslie Horn in that 62 wagon that he calls the Stud Muffin. Our current points leader and number 1 qualifier today here, that is Horn, and he knows that he better have his game tight for Cynthia Phillips, who now is really a force to be reckoned with this new race car she has with the Wayne Sless horsepower under the hood. Going to take on that Gene Fulton horsepower. Looks like she may have got a little bit of a drop on him right there. Is that he have enough under the hood in that Stud Muffin to come back around? Yes, he does. Leslie Horn takes the win right here. As you can see, he was beating on the line. Tom White giving a jump back here, trying to help his driver a little further down the track. But that Fulton horsepower in that 292 was too much to overcome. There you see the margin of victory as Horn drove back around her at the top end.
Leslie Horn, brother, you know, the tower's telling me she left you on the starting line, but thank goodness you had the power to come back around.
She left me. I was waiting on that yellow light before I left. I sure wasn't going red light. But anyway, yeah, she does good. I hate to take Cynthia out. I'm ready to see her win. I'm ready to see her win one.
But not against you.
Yeah, but not against me, but I told her, I said, if you take me out here, take a whole shot, I'm going to have to win the rest of them. I'm going to be pulling for you the whole way. Her time's coming. She's doing great.
B-Gas round number 2. There's our number 1 qualifier, the 78-year-old Danny Bird in the Junkyard Dog. He's going to be taking on the Ripley, Tennessee runner, James Beard, in that obsolete 2. Two great-looking Chevy 2s right here. You see Slowpoke Rodriguez on the side there for James Beard, as he says sometimes he don't have enough under the hood. Well, maybe he's good with the left foot right here, and he can take Danny Bird out. I know that's what he's got to be thinking. Whole shot advantage is going to go to Beard, but man, look at that Junkyard Dog and that horsepower turn on at the end, and Danny Bird takes the win. There you can see the advantage given to Beard off the starting line, but Danny Bird too much under the hood, and there you see the margin of victory. Good race right here coming up. Mike Blackwell with all that horsepower under that Smoking Sam going to get the Greenhorn Hillbilly of TJ York in that 55 Chevy painted by Paul Vanderpool. This 2 right here is going to be a great matchup. TJ sitting 3rd right now in points, and Mike Blackwell looking to climb that points standings right now in a big way. So he needs to take out TJ right here to do that. TJ with an advantage on the starting line. Let's see if Blackwell's got that high horsepower coming on at the end. No, TJ York is able to fend him off, and good run for TJ York. Look at that car going straight. And T.J. York takes the win right here in round number 2. That is a big win for him.
T.J. York, old Smoking Sam, ain't no easy target, brother. But I understand you put a hole shot on him and carried it on through.
Yeah, good Lord looking after me. We've had some problems, but everything's working out. It was a fun race. That was a big one right there.
That's a big one out of the way.
Tough character. That's a big win right there.
Yeah.
Next pair around the corner, there's the Atomic Hillbilly, a Todd Napier taking on the Alley Cat 2 of that Southern Pines, North Carolina runner, Tim Bailey. Tim Bailey leading the points right now in B-Gas, and he has got his hands full right here with this Atomic Hillbilly. That car making all kind of horsepower here lately, and that is something that is hard to keep on the ground. Todd Napier doing his best, and Tim Bailey looking to stay consistent and just go rounds and keep padding that points lead here in the Southeast Gasser Trail in 2019. A little bit of cat and mouse here. Going in last is going to be Napier. Napier with the wheels up. Napier going toward the center line, gets into the gray area and crosses the center line. Tim Bailey keeping that car straight, and he moves on. Tim Bailey will take the win. Look at this car go erratically left on Todd Napier. And that's a product of that horsepower we talked about earlier.
Tim Bailey, Tower's telling me you just got left behind, but the old Corvette had the power to come back around.
His light was flickering on and off. And I thought he was going to get timed out. And I said, well, I've already bit the dust by Todd 2 times because he's really good on the trees. So I said, if I have to leave and watch his bumper all the way, I ain't going to beat myself. So, but it still came out okay, but I'll have to do a little better next time, I promise.
Now you know his tactics.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty smart too.
Next up, Jerry Birch on a competition single due to Ray Fossil unable to make it as he broke something in his car. And so he'll just take the tree, and there you see him take the light, and he'll just back out and move on to the 3rd round of competition. Round 2 of A-Gas right here. Ben Christopher going to be in the right lane in that 48 Anglia called the Happy Days. Going to be taking on that Spinny 2 car of Steve Davis out of Monroe, North Carolina. And these 2 cars look real good in the 1st round of competition, but you just never know. Ben Christopher with that short wheelbase, that car getting very erratic. And Steve Davis, his car has been on a string lately as he has just been clicking off rounds after rounds, very consistent. So let's see what it'll be here. Christopher goes in first. Spinny second. Ben Christopher. Oh, that car, again, very erratic. Steve Davis, there you see, making a straight run. And Ben Christopher just having to abort the run. Look how violent that car is moving on him with all the horsepower he's producing in that A-Gas car. There's another great shot of it. Look how the front end bottoms out. And Ben Christopher pushes in the clutch and aborts the run. And Steve Davis moves on to round number 3.
Steve Davis, there's only one thing I know for sure about that run, and is you won. You went through first, brother. Good-looking pass.
Thank you, sir. Hey, round 2 win. First time I got to talk to you in a couple of races. I'm excited, man. We good. So I'm tickled to see whoever got. I think it's that Corvette, but hey, they put their pants on one leg at a time like me.
There you see the Agent Orange car of Dean Jonas going to take on Gary Klein right here, the Tasmanian Devil, in round number 2 in A-Gas. Dean Jonas with just a impeccably prepared race car. You just couldn't find a better looking race car, a better engineered race car out here, I don't think, this year. And we've got some beautiful ones. And there's the Tasmanian Devil with that big Gene Fulton sticker right there. Not sticker, but it is painted on the side. And so Fulton horsepower underneath the hood there for Gary Klein. And Dean Jonas in the right lane. Good lead by both drivers right here. Gary Klein looking to have the advantage right here as Jonas moves to the wall just a bit. And Gary Klein in the Tasmanian Devil takes another round win right here in Tennessee. That is a good drag race right there, folks. And there is the margin of victory, just a little over a car length, if that.
Gary Klein, Tasmanian Devil. Tower telling me there was some last-minute lane changing going on up there. What do we got here? Strategy? What was going on? Talk me through.
The car that went in the right lane before I staged spilt something all down the track, and they was trying to clean it up down through there. And I had lane choice, and I've been around long enough to know that we can switch. This car, these A-Gas cars are so touchy. especially this one. I don't need to be sliding around on the track no more. I've got firsthand.
You got a lot of experience with that, Gary, but hey, no apologies. That is drag racing, son. That's the way it goes. If you got a lane choice, use your lane choice.
That's it. I hated to do the guy that way, but we compete, and that's what we're here for.
We're here to race to win, and then drag racing rule says you can make that decision up to the start of the burnout.
All right, now, battle of the two Par engines right here. Scott dug his horsepower under the hood. Par racing engines for Barry Lynn in the little red wagon you see right there, doing a burnout in the right lane, and the Slingshot, our B-Gas champion from last year, the Todd Blackwell. He has moved up to A-Gas, and folks, he's got this car running on mean. As you see his dad Mike out front, they have been working tirelessly to get this car to handle the improved horsepower that is under here and it takes to compete in A-Gas. And Todd's been doing a masterful job of driving. This car's been pulling wheelies in all gears here in competition today and in qualifying. Let's see if Barry Lynn's got enough under the hood to take him out. Look at that, 3-wheel stands right there for Todd Blackwell, and what a drag race it is. And Todd Blackwell coming out on top right there as Barry Lynn gave him all he wanted and kept his car down on the ground in second and third gear. And there you see the margin of victory, less than a half a car length.
Alan Golden, I can never tell if you're on a buy run or if you're racing somebody because you're always so far out front.
I appreciate it, man. We're getting lucky. We're going around and making a lot of changes to the car. And the track's getting better. It wasn't too good for us earlier, but it's tough out there.
And you took out your twin, this other silver Corvette, first round, I believe it was. Talk about an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he had some trouble.
Doesn't matter, not unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm glad we got the round win.
And you were behind him in points, looking like you're going to pass him in points after today.
I sure hope so. We need it as hard as we've been working.
Todd Oden, you came here points leader in A-Gas. Unfortunately, today wasn't your day, and you are right now. Steve Spinney has tied you. Steve Davis has tied you. Alan Golden may well pass you.
Well, that's okay. We give it all we got, and we come to make rounds. Today just wasn't quite our day. We had a little traction issue on the line. The car, once it got out and on the track, it stand up and run hard. I mean, the horsepower's there. We were just lacking the starting line prep that we needed today.
Well, I can say it's a very unusual day to not be talking to you in a winning situation in at least one, if not two classes. So we're just going to chalk this one up as a bad experience and go on to the next one.
Well, believe me, I don't like losing, and I love getting interviewed down there. So this has not been my best day, but we had a great time, and I did lose to two really great competitors who have good cars, and shoot, long as we keep having this much fun, we'll be here every time.
Rusty Sampsell, it has been a while since you've been around one of the Southeast Gasser races with the famed Bad Banana, but as we were talking the other day, the Bad Banana got a little bit of a different power plant in it these days.
Yeah, yes, we do. We got we're trying to develop a new class for Southeast Gasser Association. We're going to call it D-Gas. It's just a little bit different than what we did before. I mean, it still heads up first to the finish line, 1967 era vehicles, but one difference is instead of the cubic inch to weight separation that we did from class to class, we're going to do one engine. Everybody's going to run the same exact spec engine and one weight. So it'll really, truly be a driver's class.
And you guys are working with, I think, what is it?
Scoggin Dickey Parts Center in Lubbock, Texas. They're fans. They've been following the Southeast Gasser for a couple of years, and when I talked to them, they wanted to get involved, and so we started working together to come up with this program with this particular engine to make it. We want the sound and the power and reliability and all that type of thing. So that's what we've done.
Well, from the looks of that run, it's got the power. I mean, wheels up as the old Bad Banana always had, and that certainly provides the excitement. But I like the theory of what you're proving there, because that pits racer against racer and not necessarily pocketbook against pocketbook. Again, Scoggins Dickey, they're like a GM Performance Parts dealer. You're working with them. The plan is, the theory, I'll say, is for them to supply the exact same motor, dyno proven, to every customer. That customer can put it in any car he wants to, as long as it's 67 or older and weighs X amount of pounds.
Right, 3,250 pounds is where we're starting right now. So, yeah.
Again, Bad Banana never fails to excite me, so I look forward to the whole class.
Well, one more thing is, since this is the only car in existence right now, we only have one. That's why I couldn't race anybody, but we've just announced this a couple weeks ago. I've put up, me and the Bad Banana are going to challenge anybody in the world if they can put together a D-gas legal car with a D-gas legal motor, a D-gas legal weight, and race me and the Bad Banana heads up, best 2 out of 3, and can beat me in the car. I will pay them $1,000 cash.
That is quite the challenge. You know, that even tempts old Mitch Stott, as you were saying a minute ago. So now, but there is one other twist to that. I think you guys also have a charity that this money will go to if nobody collects on it.
Well, right. So I'm not going to do that for free. So if somebody wants $1,000, they're going to have to put up 100 of their own money. If I beat them, I get their 100. And again, at the end of the year, if nobody takes my money, and if I get any money from anybody else that tried to beat me, all that money will go to a charity. We haven't decided yet, but we're going to pick a good charity to donate all of it to at the end of the year.
Superstock moving on to the semifinals here. There's Mark Hackett, our points leader right now in that 65 Mercury Caliente, that Comet Caliente. He hails out of Lebanon, Tennessee. So this is going to be his hometown race right here. And he's going to be taking on the Brass Monkey of Zach Long out of Leesville, South Carolina. And man, talk about a beautiful car. The Brass Monkey is definitely sporting the right paint job that you see there. The Caliente sitting in the right lane with the points leader. Let's see if, Zach, man, he did not get enough on the starting line right there. Those Hoosier Slicks hooking up real well for Mark Hackett as he takes the win right here and moves to the finals. There you see, Zach tried, but man, that clutch just a little bit too much for him as Mark Hackett streaks away to the finals right here at Ethridge, Tennessee.
Mark, do you never tire of outrunning Chrysler?
Mitch, did you see how many Mopar wagons are down there right now? I mean, they're ganging up on me. This morning I was down there talking smack. I put a curse on them. You wait and see what happens after a while.
That's why I say, do you never tire of outrunning Chrysler?
I love it. And what they don't realize, they're in my backyard this week.
Oh, my goodness, you have everything to lose and nothing to gain in your own backyard, so I know you're going to fight twice as hard.
We're going to let it all hang out. They're going to show us everything they got.
All right, a family battle right here. The Battle of the Peffleys. Dallas the father versus Robert the son right here in a couple of Plymouth Belvederes, 67 Belvederes right here on the line. So let's see who's going to take the win right here. They got those Hoosiers good and hot. And there you see Robert creeping in a little bit after Dad. Lights that pre-stage bulb right there. Then Robert goes in first. Dad's going to creep in second. There's the launch. Let's see who's going to be. Looks like Dallas with a good launch right here. Robert coming back in the middle of the track, and it is Robert Peffley in the 4-speed Stampede that's going to take the win right here over the Grumpy Bee of his dad Dallas and move on to the finals to take on Mark Hackett.
Robert, we know what's going to go on at your family dinner table tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a tough one to do with Father's Day being tomorrow. You know, Dad was like, you could give me an early Father's Day present. And I said, you know, tomorrow's Father's Day. So I'm going to have to hold on that.
C-Gas Semis right here, the crazy horse, Larry Noel out of Aiken, South Carolina. Going to be the beneficiary of a buy run right here as he took out the number 2 qualifier today, and that was the young blood of Josh Pruitt. And he's going to take that car down the track kind of easy and make sure he gets to the finals where he'll take on the winner of our next matchup coming up in just a moment between the Stud Muffin Leslie Horn and the Double X of Todd Oden. There you see, there's Todd Oden doing a burnout in the right lane, and the left lane is going to be the Stud Muffin of Leslie Horn out of Boiling Springs, South Carolina. And this right here has some points implications as well. Leslie Horn comes in here the leader by just a few points, and he is going to try to extend that since Billy Edwards went out so early. He has a good chance to do that as Edwards was number 2 in the points. Todd Oden trying to regain that championship form that he had in 2017 with the Double X to get back on top of the points. Good lead by both drivers right there. Looks like maybe a slight advantage to Leslie Horn. And it is at the stripe. Leslie Horn taking the win right here in the Stud Muffin over Todd Oden. Man, look at that lead by both cars. big wide-body C-Gas cars just love to see them get down the racetrack, and they do it very well. And there's the margin of victory, just a half a car length right there. And you see Logan Horn very excited for Dad's round win right there, moving him on to the finals.
Leslie Horn, you want to talk about slaying a giant? You just done it. Todd Oden and that double X, brother, let me tell you, that talk about a round win, that was a round win.
Yeah, done that with no line lock button. My button was gone. I had to take my pinky and stick it in the hole and let it out. Maybe I'll try that from now on. It's
Gonna say you might want to try that again. It's a solid round win, brother. This looks like it may turn out to be a good day for Leslie Horn.
It may look like it's be a good day. I still got one more to get through. And once again, I forgot to thank somebody that helps this sport tremendously here, all of us. And he gets failed to get mentioned a lot of times. We mention him a good bit. But Johnny Hightower, he does so much here for all of us here. That's probably, 60-70% runs Hightowers here. 9 o'clock, I was needing a rear end one night. He met me at his shop and got my rear end for me. Got it to me at 9 o'clock at night. So just the kind of fella he is. I just want to give him a plug.
There you see Danny Bird rolling in against T.J. York here in the first pair of semifinals in V-Gas at US 43 Dragway here in Ethridge, Tennessee. Good long smoky dig by T.J. York right there. Danny Bird taking the abbreviated route as you see Elizabeth Noel bringing back T.J. York. She and Christy Burchett working tirelessly out there being our backup girls. I tell you, they make more laps up and down the track than some of these cars do. But on to the action right here, Danny Bird and T.J. York. T.J. York with a little bit of a break on the tree, but that is quickly made up by Danny Bird, and Danny Bird in the Junkyard Dog streaks away to another victory right here as that car was a little erratic on Danny as he had to short shift it right there, and a 78-year-old proves that he can do it, and he takes the victory right there just barely over a car length.
Danny Bird, Junkyard Dog, it's been a while since we got to talk to you, but maybe a few races past. Don't look like to me you've really lost much of anything, maybe even gotten a little better.
Well, sometimes you get a little lucky.
I think you got too many years under your belt to call anything luck. I believe we're going to call this experience.
Yeah, I guess you're right. 78 years old will put you up there pretty good, won't it?
And I repeat, 78 years old and still winning races.
Yeah, that's when you're lucky to do that.
All right, next pair coming around the corner. There is two of the most decorated people that have ever raced in Southeast Gassers. Tim Bailey, the 2016 world champ, and he has taken on none other than the Freebird, Jerry Birch, and his brother Joey, who have won at least 10 to 12 times that I know of, 10 or 12 races in the Southeast Gassers. So this is going to be a great matchup right here. Both these guys respect each other and know what they're facing as they pull into the beams right here. A little bit of a break right there for Tim Bailey on the starting line, and Jerry Birch running straight. Boy, both cars running good. Who's it going to be? The Freebird. Jerry Birch takes the win right here as you see his brother standing staunchly behind the line because he didn't know who it was going to be either. But there is the finish line camera.
Jerry Birch looks like the Freebird turned the tables on the Alley Cat.
Yeah, we owed him one, of course, but we had a little problem in the first qualifying run. I think I may have hurt it again. We'll have to run back and take the valve cover off, see the broke tip off of that.
Well, I won't hold you no longer than necessarily, but normally, the old cat gets the bird. This time, I think the bird got the cat.
Hey, them claws ain't sharp enough for this bird.
A-Gas semifinals right here. There he is, the Tasmanian Devil, Gary Klein out of North Tazewell, Virginia. Going to take on the slingshot of Todd Blackwell here. Todd is going to be in the left lane. There you see him with that long, smoky burnout. Todd will fill the cabin of that car up with some smoke, and he's trying to get a little relief right there as he's moving back into his tracks. And the very deliberate backup right there by Gary Klein, getting in his tracks. The slingshot definitely with the upper hand right here, but Gary Klein, the veteran, has been knocking them off here today. So let's see if he can knock out right here this big horsepower motor underneath the hood for the slingshot. Look at those wheels up. Second gear, third gear again for Todd Blackwell. Just a repeat of the last run, and he takes out the Tasmanian Devil of Gary Klein. That car is pulling wheelies in all 3 gears right there in A-gas, and Todd Blackwell doing a great job keeping it straight.
Todd Blackwell, fancy seeing you up here for an interview yet again. You know, A-gas ain't exactly been favorable to you, but it looks like you may have turned things around, even though you took out my childhood hero, Gary Klein.
Well, I ain't got all the confidence yet. As you know, we rebuilt this whole car, and we're just now getting the bugs worked out, and it seems to be working for us right now. Standing up a little bit higher in all 3 gears, and I'd like for it to do. We get that on the ground. I figure we get a little better ET, but we winning rounds right now. That puts us in the finals, and I'm not sure I got anything for frequent flyer tonight, but we'll see.
Well, let's see if you got the frequent flyer.
Yeah.
That's yet to be
right.
decided. But earlier today, when I was telling you guys, can't you stand the wheels up in third, I was just joking.
I took you for real.
There's Steve Davis waiting at the ready to get this next round of semifinals underway here in A-gas at US 43 Dragway, Ethridge, Tennessee. And there you see Alan Gaulden. He's going to be in the left lane. The big frequent flyer going to take on that Spinny 2 car. And I got to be honest with you, I love the new Spinny 2 car. Not that I didn't love the 56 Chevy that he campaigned last year, but this car really sits down and gets some great traction for him. But he has got his hands full right here with the frequent flyer of Alan Gaulden. There you see CNC tooling machine on the back right there, U.S. Bell Bond, helping Steve Davis get down the road. And there that car goes straight again. Something on the track. Oh, Alan Gaulden over toward the center line. Ooh, don't know if he crossed. You see the light come on that says he got there first. But, man, the rear end of that car washed out about twice going down the racetrack. And here, let's take a closer look from this video footage. You see the margin of victory right there, just a half a Corvette car length.
Benny, we don't know. He was all over the center line. That had to be quite a run from your viewpoint.
It was pretty exciting. I tell you that right there. It makes you think.
Well, we're waiting for a call up here. We know he crossed the finish line first, but I do not know if he crossed the center line or not. We're waiting on a report from that. That's why I'm wanting to catch both of you, because that, from a driver's viewpoint, had to be a cool ride.
It was a cool ride right there. Yeah, I think he passed. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Alan Gaulden, you know they say it ain't over till the fat lady sings, and I know you cashing in on that theory because you was riding this horse from both sides of the racetrack all the way down. We're waiting on a report now. Did you or did you not cross the center line? I don't know. We know you crossed the finish line first. We're waiting for a report. So right now we're calling it in your favor.
Woo! Son! She was all over the track, and I was hanging on for dear life, and he was in front of me, and I think I got him right at the very end, but woo!
You definitely crossed the stripe first, but again, we don't know what the official call is going to be on the center line or not.
Yeah, I don't think I crossed. I tried to stay on my side, but I'm crossing my fingers right now.
Well, you know, in Southeast Gasser's exciting rule book, you can smack the guardrail and ride it all the way down and still win, but you can't cross the center line. So again, as we stand right now, we're calling you, but we'll wait for the final word.
All right, thank you.
Looking at the video again, there you see the frequent flyer going to the right, washes out one time in the rear end in the gray area. The rear end comes around again, but there you see he does not touch nor cross the center line, thus making Alan Gaulden the winner.
Todd, it's official, brother. They did declare Alan Gaulden the winner of that round. He did not cross the center line, so that puts you against him. Talk about two guys that may put on a show for the final round, be you, Todd Blackwell, and Alan Gaulden.
Yeah, I believe it'll be a show. We're still making tweaks on this car, so I may not have nothing for him tonight, but we're going to give it all it's got.
Well, I can say this from my viewpoint up on the hill, the car is running. And I can say this, it is wild, obviously. His last run, he's all over the racetrack. Who knows how this one's going? It's going to be exciting.
Anything can happen, and we know that for sure, right?
Superstock final coming up right here. Mark Hackett, our points leader, and Robert Peffley, who's sitting number 2 in the points right now. This has a big implication for points right here, as Robert Peffley needs to take out and knock off Mark Hackett right here to cut into that points lead that he has built with those 2 wins already this year. There you see that Mercury Comet Caliente creeping in the right side. The Lebanon, Tennessee runner moving in deliberately. And there's the 4-speed Stampede, that 67 Belvedere wagon. Those Hoosiers really hooking up right there, as you see both cars leaving the line really well. This is a close race, folks. Who's it going to be in Superstock today? Robert Peffley. And there you see the family all enjoying the win right there for Dad as he takes the win in the 4-speed Stampede. The margin of victory, a very close margin right there at this finish line.
Robert Peffley, that's payback number 2, but not only just payback number 2, but you just tied the points.
We tied the points with that one. We really needed that. Mark is tough. I felt bad for him. He was outnumbered all weekend. We had some Mopars here, Mopar wagons to boot. So he's been outnumbered all weekend, but great race. He's been tough all weekend.
Don't feel too bad for him because he was enjoying outrunning those Mopar wagons up to now.
Oh, I know he was, and so I had to pull one for us Mopar wagon guys, and we had to get him back there. But always a tough race with Mark. I know this is a hometown crowd for him, so he brought out a lot of people. And man, this Superstock class, we're having a blast this year, and we just got to keep chugging along, get some more cars out here, and we love it.
This is basically Mark's home track on our circuit right here as he's in Lebanon, and you did take him out here in the home, so that's got to give you a little smile.
Yeah, I hate taking him out of his home track because I know he had a lot of family here, but we're going to be in Indiana in the end of next month, and I'm sure he's not going to feel bad if he does the same thing to me.
That's true. Now, this car ran well for you all day. It was almost like a bracket car.
It was. I mean, the track had some changes to it, but this car, we've been beating on it to get it where it's at, and it's not always the fastest, but it's consistent, and we just keep making runs and keep tweaking, and we'll get there. And I got to thank the Lord for letting us be here to do this today, and I got to thank my sponsor, Brewers Transmissions. They help us out a lot, and that's why this car's as good as it is.
Well, it is good, and this is your winner today in Superstock here at US 43 Dragway, Robert Peffley.
Larry Noel, brother, this ain't exactly been your year so far. But here we find yourself in another final round. As the old saying goes, I've seen sick dog get better, but I don't never think I've seen one get quite this much better.
You know, finally the little thing's coming around and it's acting better. We got the suspension kind of straightened up after the last thing in Bailington there. And we went to semifinals there, and then it's acting a little better. It's running the best it has, and so we're in the finals.
Well, that's what I say. Shady side, bad appearance. Engine issues. Yep. Next race you had to miss, engine wasn't ready. Right. Baileyton, car's running, but it's not at to par.
Right.
So today, looks like we may have resurrected ourselves. We are in the finals, brother.
I'm just happy to go to the finals and show that last year's champion still got a little bit of something.
Leslie, you have made your way yet to another final round. You've won one race in the Southeast Gassers Association, but you're going up against last year's champion, Larry Noel. How do you prepare for that type of competitor? Though he hasn't had the best year so far, he does appear to be back in groove.
Yeah, he does. I just go out there, I'm just going to run my race, and what he does, and that's the way I'm going to do it. And let me correct you, I've had two race wins in the Southeast Gassers. Okay. But anyway, we're going to go out there, and we're going to give it all we can get and hope we got enough for him.
C-Gas Finals right here. There he is, Larry Noel, our champ from last year, our defending world champ, is going to be taking on the number one qualifier, Leslie Horn, in that aforementioned stud muffin car. This is going to be a good matchup right here as Larry Noel's looking to really get back on track with this new motor combination of Wayne Sless underneath the hood. There you see Sandy Noel bringing her husband back. And in the other lane, their daughter, Elizabeth Noel, helping out, bringing Leslie Horn back. So the whole family on the starting line right here. Gene Fulton Racing Engines under the hood for Stud Muffin, Leslie Horn, and Wayne Sless under there for Sandy and Larry Noel in the right lane. Everybody ready now as the cars pull into full stage. Let's see who's going to get the drop right here. Love this starting line camera. Really gives you a good indication of what's going to go on right here. Both cars stage. Looks like Leslie Horn with a slight advantage right there. Larry Noel's car running straight, but it looks like Leslie Horn streaks away for the victory. And there you see the win light come on for Leslie Horn and the Stud Muffin as those cars really running well. And there you see the margin of victory.
Leslie Horn, better known as a.k.a. Stud Muffin. Let me tell you, that is a win for today. Took out last year's champion, Larry Noel. Not only that, you are the current points leader when you came here. You just extended that by a very comfortable margin.
That's right. We come down here, we just try to do what we can do with it. The little car, had some issues with it at the last race. We broke 3 rocker arms, and I had to baby it through, and I was just lucky to get through it. And like I say, I got another power plant for it, but I'm hesitant to change it. It's doing so good.
Maybe you just need to be prepared to change motors at the racetrack. Just bring spares with you.
Yeah, bring spares, transmission ears, and all. We can do that. How do we do it?
Leslie Horn, what a great day right here for the Stud Muffin at Ethridge, Tennessee.
Yes, sir, it was. It was a long drive up here, and I'm tired, but it turned out to be a good race weekend, for sure.
Well, it's just like that trip you made to Kentucky on a Sunday morning. You got up there, you took the win, and you come back home.
The same thing. Yeah, that there, I was kind of hesitant to go up there. It was my anniversary that weekend. It was prom that weekend. It was a lot of stuff going on that weekend, and I was hesitant to do there. And it was my day that day. So.
Well, great weekend this weekend. Want to wish you a happy Father's Day. I know you got your trusty man right here beside you, Logan. Logan, congratulations on this win too, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Happy Father's Day to you too, Dave.
Your C-Gas winner today right here, Mr. Leslie Horn. B-Gas final now. Two of the big dogs in our B-Gas category. There's Danny Bird, the 78-year-old out of Sykeston, Missouri, in that junkyard dog. And here is Jerry Birch, the relative youngster compared to Danny Bird in that Freebird out of Roebuck, South Carolina. The Birch Brothers Racing right there. You see it on the front of the car. They, as we said before, they've won at least 11 or 12 races that I know of in Southeast Gasser competition, and Danny Bird trying to sneak up on that number right here today with that one-way technology motor underneath the hood. Brian Bickens, the crew chief there for Danny Bird, as both cars creeping into the pre-stage. They get ready to go right here. There's a good shot down the racetrack, and of both cars, Birch goes in last. Danny Bird lifting the wheels off the ground in first and second gear. Jerry Birch giving him all he wants. And Danny Bird takes the win here today, the veteran out of Sykeston, Missouri. Look at that lead for that car in the left lane, the junkyard dog. That car just performed well all day. Our number one qualifier takes it all the way through to the finals. And you see the margin of victory here, a close front end, and that is enough.
Congratulations, Danny Bird. Old junkyard dog pulls it off again. You know, just plucked the feathers right out of that Freebird in the final round, brother. Good job. We're so happy to have you back, and definitely glad to see you win.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be back with all the friends and fans. It's nice.
Danny Bird, congratulations. Man, you had a few stumbles in the beginning of the year, but boy, y'all have fixed this thing, and it is running great.
Yeah, we got it straightened out. We just don't get to come to all the races.
Well, you showed them here when you showed up today that you meant business. Number one qualifier, you mowed through the field like it was a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, some days you get lucky.
Very understated Danny Bird right there. Brian Bickens, got anything you want to add? I know you're the crew chief on this thing.
No, not really. Just want to thank everybody for everything they do, a good show they put on, and thank the Lord. And everybody have a blessed trip home.
Well, I want to wish both of you guys a happy Father's Day. So glad to see your health back, Danny, and glad to have you back out here, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Your winner today in B-Gas, the junkyard dog, Danny Bird. A-Gas final, and folks, this here just proves to be a doozy right here. The slingshot of Todd Blackwell going to stay in that left lane that he's been in most of the day, putting the frequent flyer over in the right lane, and that is none other than Alan Gaulden, a two-time winner already this year on the circuit in A-Gas competition in that frequent flyer, that 1961 Corvette. And we have dubbed him the Swamp Monster as he comes out of the swamps of Florida down there where all those gators are. He's going to try to take a bite out of the slingshot. There you see Mike Blackwell bringing his son back into his tracks, getting that slingshot ready to go. And, folks, that car has been running on mean all day, pulling the wheels up in all three gears, as you have seen on this video before already twice. Todd Blackwell doing a masterful job of keeping that car straight while those wheels come up in the air, and he gets ready to place that car into the beams. Mike Blackwell says, "You're there, son. Now go get them." Let's see what will happen as he takes on the frequent flyer in the finals right here at US 43 Dragway. Oh, he goes in deep. Gaulden goes in deep and turns on the red light. Alan Gaulden, you saw him go in deep and turned on the red light, giving the win right over. Right here you see it. He goes in shallow, then rolls deep, and then the red light catches him. And none other then Todd Blackwell will be your winner today at Ethridge.
Todd Blackwell, Slingshot Team, great job, buddy. I know it's great to be back in the winner's circle for you. You literally dominated B-Gas. Looks like you may bring that to A.
We hope so. That's what we've been trying to do. It's good to see the Slingshot car back in the winner's circle. This guy back here was not the guy that I was wanting to run in the finals, but he's a good competitor, and I'm glad that we was able to take it home today.
Well, you know, Alan Golden was in a position, I think, to take the points lead had he won that round. It's going to be really tight whether he had the lead or not, but it certainly put him in that point. He's got you to thank for not getting to do that today. So I'm dare to say that he's really going to be shooting for you at the next race.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's too thankful. But, yeah, hey, that's what it's all about, trying to whittle them points. We missed a couple races in the beginning trying to get this car finished. We wasn't quite ready, so hopefully we can still be a contender for the points. I don't know if we can make it or not, but we're going to give it our best.
A great day for you here today. You got this Slingshot all worked out, man, and what kind of horsepower. You were pulling wheelies in third gear.
Yeah, it was pulling all three gears. We got to get it calmed down a little bit more. I think there's a little bit more ET in it. If we can get it on the ground, but it done what it needed to do today.
It was an impressive show that you put on, and just to keep it straight, and man, you kept your foot in it.
Well, that's what I was telling them earlier. We went up to Shady Side this past week, and it was so wild. I about took the tree out. It was going hard left so much, and so we done a lot of work to it this week, getting this thing to go straight. And again, I like to thank some of the competitors that I have. You know, a lot of this whole group here. You know, they come around to help you, give you pointers and tips. You know, and so it was a group effort, and I appreciate all that helped us to get where we're at today.
I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. And here's your A-Gas winner here at US 43 Dragway. First time in A-Gas, Todd Blackwell in the Slingshot. Well, Mitch Stott, we wrap up Ethridge, Tennessee here at US 43 Dragway with an incredible day of racing. Saw some wonderful ETs on a beautiful racetrack.
We saw some exciting racing today, and I cannot let another thing pass without talking about Todd Blackwell and that car doing wheel stands but winning races. Oh, wow. I think that had to be the crowd favorite of the day.
I agree with you. I mean, it was incredible. He was pulling the car off the ground in third gear.
When during qualifying, they had some trouble and testing last night, and he was shutting it down after second gear. And I said, what's wrong? Can't y'all do that in third? And then today, about the final round, I said, when I told you, could you do that in third? I was just joking.
Well, the car's making some incredible horsepower. What a great final between him and Alan Golden. Unfortunately, Alan's car just lurched just a little bit at the starting line, and he turned on the red light, but still a great run for him to get there today. Both those cars were running on mean.
Yeah, whatever happens, it happens in drag race, you know, and I think Alan moved very close to the points lead. I don't think it put him there, but I think it put him right there on knocking on the door. But, you know, Larry Noel, you know, last year's champion or this year's standing champion, however you want to say that, you know, at least back to the final round. You know, he's had a very tough year, so great job on his part. But then again, you can't take anything away from Leslie Horn. You know, Leslie capturing that obviously Leslie was in the points lead when he come here. He has just patted that thing great.
He has, and in B-Gas, we saw 78-year-old Danny Bird, who has fought through a myriad of health problems in the offseason, and, you know, didn't have Danny Bird performance the first time he come out to a race, come out and show that Danny Bird performance today. 78 years old and just tearing it up.
Yeah, as I was talking with him in the top end interview after the final round down there, I said, you know, Danny, you've won against health issues. You know, you've won in drag racing today. I said, God is great indeed, and congratulations. And he said, yes, absolutely. So, you know, what a wonderful story for a 78-year-old man who's drag raced all his life. And the best phrase I can put with that, and still doing it.
He sure is. And Mitch, what about the crowd today in the middle of Amish country up here, which has been really refreshing to see. But, I mean, we had a big crowd today and a lot of things going on around us, you know, and that really spoke well.
David, that may be, although that was one of our, I would say, lower crowd counts, but it wasn't dismal by no means. But what it speaks to me is major volumes, because there was so many things, major events going on around us, including the fact of Father's Day, and the Southeast Gassers Association still held its own with dragging people in to see primetime historic drag racing.
Well, we got about a 6.5-hour trip me and you do home, so how about you say a prayer for us and traveling mercies for all our drivers that they kept safe today?
We're going to need it for that long trip, no doubt about it, David. Dear Heavenly Father, we certainly come to you in Jesus Christ's holy name, and we ask you for your traveling blessings. We praise you and thank you for the glorious day we had, the wonderful weather, the great turnout of people, the safe, exciting racing, all of the things that took place today we know was guided by you, and we certainly do them in your honor, and we praise you yet again. Dear Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Gas who's 66, gas who's 66, gas who's 66, gas who's 66. I got a razor blade for a tongue and I just can't control it.